Taking a look at our iterative elimination now, we can start off with Anne. So, I'm going to do something that the answer key actually does. So we're going to label Anne is 1, Betty is 2, Cindy is 3, just to make it easier. So, again, in iterative elimination, you're going to be looking at your payoffs, whether it's this versus that, or this versus that, or this versus this. That is what you're looking for in iterative elimination. You're looking to see what strategies dominate other strategies. And this can be either weakly or strongly. Weakly, typically your payoffs will tie. So, for instance, like, I don't know, this would be a tie, 0 and 0. But the presence of another payoff that is greater than another strategy's payoff, like here, will break that and cause this strategy to weakly dominate, WD. That's how I abbreviate it. Weakly dominated is WD, strongly dominated is SD. This strategy. And strong domination is when there are like no ties present and this payoffs, one strategy's payoffs are always greater than the other strategy's payoffs. So first, let's take a look at Anne. Anne's Betty versus Anne's Cindy. Is 1 greater than -1? Yes. Is 0 greater than 1? Yes. Is -1 greater than 0? No. 0 is greater. 0 and 0, this is a tie. So this is Cindy strong. Anne's Cindy weakly dominates. And again, it's a weak domination because there is a tie there. Anne's Betty. And when I mean like Anne's Cindy, I mean when Anne chooses Cindy compared to when Anne chooses Betty. Like her Cindy option and her Betty option. Same thing applies to the other ones. Now let's take a look at Betty. Who's better off? And Betty's, what does it look like when you compare Betty's Anne to Betty's Cindy? So Betty's Anne and Betty's Cindy are tied here. Actually, have a tie. Here, you have 0, -1. And you're not paying attention to this top row because Anne's elimination already caused that row. It's gone. So don't pay attention to it. And when it, like, in terms of looking, of continuing your elimination, that strategy is technically not an option anymore. So it doesn't affect your elimination at this point, once you've eliminated a strategy. So here, 0, -1. 0 is greater than -1. That wins. So you have Betty's Anne strong weakly dominates Betty's Cindy. Again, this is a -1, this is 0. 0 and 0 are greater than 0 and -1. So Betty's Anne weakly dominates Betty's Cindy. And then last but not least, I'm going to go in with a purple. We're going to take a look at Cindy's Anne versus Cindy's Betty. So Cindy's Anne, -1 and -1, versus Cindy's Betty, 1, -1. -1 and -1, 1 is greater. -1, -1, there's a tie. Cindy's Betty weekly dominates. So you had, sorry. Cindy's Anne. So this kind of gets kicked out. Prediction. Sorry. Your prediction. Anne will play Cindy. Betty will play Anne. And Cindy will play Betty. So, prediction. Anne will play Cindy. Betty will play, again, Anne. You have a C. A, B. Will play Anne. Cindy will play Betty. That is our prediction. And for our Nash equilibrium, very straightforward again. I'm going to take a look at our let me see. Our payoffs. So when Betty picks Anne, what are Anne's best options? -1 or 1? 1. 0 or 1? 0. Oh, forgot. I think that's 1. Yes. Over here, 0 versus -1. 0. Cindy, 0 versus 0 does not matter. Or does matter, but they're a tie. When Anne picks Betty, what are Betty's best options? So Anne picks Betty here. It is better off for Betty to go with Anne. And over here, Anne. And when Anne picks Cindy, better is off. And when Anne picks Cindy, Betty is better off. There's a tie here. And over here, she's better off picking Betty. I mean Cindy. Okay. a lot of names. Promise I'll get this next one right. What is better off for Cindy? So you're going to compare these values. Is it better off for Cindy to pick Anne or Betty? 0 versus 0, you have a tie. 1 versus -1, 1 wins. -1 versus 1, 1 wins, and you have a tie here. So your Nash equilibrium will be C, C, A. This C, the order really matters. So you have Anne, Betty, Cindy. Anne, Betty, Cindy. This C stands for when Anne picks Cindy. This C stands for when Betty picks Cindy. And this A stands for when Cindy picks Anne. Same thing over here. When Anne picks Cindy. When Betty picks Anne. And with Betty, or when Cindy picks Betty. So your, what color did I do up here? Red. Your pure strategy Nash equilibria are C, C, A, and C, A, B. And that is it. thank you for watching. And I hope that tutorial really helped out.